Soccer season is over, but the honors are coming in, and we have one of three Colonels who won an All-Ohio Valley Conference honor from this season just concluded, and it's Audrey Anderson, who is a freshman from Somerset on the all-newcomer team. Quite an honor. Freshman year in the books. How was it?
It was really good. It was really hard getting adjusted to all the schoolwork and just a new team, but I really loved it this season.
New coach, you played club with the Lexington FC, you played high school at Somerset as a Briar jumper. How is college different than high school, and is it similar to club or is it different than club as well?
I would say high school is just a whole different speed of play, and it's really similar to club because a lot of the club teams we were playing are all Division I athletes as well, but the physicality and just knowing soccer, like the mental part of it, is a lot different than club.
Your head coach in his first year, Matt Kozanuk, talked about playing a different system, getting used to it, kind of playing out of the back in soccer terminology. Do you feel like even though maybe the results weren't there, that the progress was made, that you understand where you're going as a team next year?
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning, everybody was kind of confused. It was a different formation, but I feel like we all got used to it, and we hung in to almost every single game we played. So I feel like next year we're going to be ready to prove ourselves.
You led the team in shots on goal with 16. You had 3 goals, and I think that was the thing, is getting those shots on frame.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it will carry over, that it'll be better next year?
For sure. That's one thing I'm really going to work on, because looking back on stats, I just didn't think it was enough. So I feel like next year we're going to get a lot more goals, and it's just going to click for more people.
The defense is pretty rugged in college, isn't it? I mean, was the physicality the thing that you had to deal with the most, that you weren't used to? Or? Yeah,
the formation, I never played a center forward before, so it was getting used to those defenders being like right on my back and being able to turn and shoot it.
So why did you decide to become a colonel, and how's it been in year one?
Well, the first thing was that it was just really close to home. My family is like really important to me, so I like that they were able to come to all my games that were home. And I really loved it so far. My teammates in school, that's just been awesome. You
know, because you're from Somerset and your last name's Anderson, I had to ask you if you were related to a former Colonel great on the baseball diamond, Josh Anderson. No, but there is a connection, right?
Yeah, him and my dad played on the same baseball team.
That's
in
neat.
High school.
So as far as off the pitch, you are a pre-physical therapy major. So what do you want to do with that degree?
I really want to be a physical therapist. Whenever I was a sophomore in high school, I broke my leg, and I had to go through physical therapy, and it just really interested me, and I just want to help others too. The
thing with soccer is it's a pretty physical game. Somebody may not understand it, but you also have to be in such great cardiovascular shape as well. Is that a balance between being able to handle the nicks and bumps and be good enough to run all over the field?
Yeah, now we're doing lifting, so now we're getting stronger, but at the same time, we're gonna have to run and stay in that shape, because preseason was all running, and we try to stay away from weights a lot of the time. So.
Did you do other sports, cross country, track, anything like that?
I
in
did
high
track
school?
in high school, yeah.
Yeah. Well, any idea how far you run in a game if you play almost 90 minutes? Do they ever track that?
They don't track it, but I'd say it's a lot. I'm always so tired after the games. It feels like we run for miles. So.
Sounds good. Anything else we need to know about an all-OVC newcomer player from EKU?
I don't think so.
How about your teammates, Katie Schaefer, great defender, first team, and then also Sarah Owusu, second team, a sophomore, and they're back, so you got a core unit back.
Yeah, I'm excited. They're both really great girls on and off the field, so.
Okay, it was great to meet you, Audrey. Good luck next year in your sophomore year.
Thank you.
Audrey Anderson, all newcomer team from the Ohio Valley Conference.
So there you go, Audrey Anderson. Sensational talent. Her freshman year at Somerset, she led the state in scoring and has went on to bigger and better things at the college level. Next up, we're going to go with we're going to the Briar Patch. We're in the Somerset boys locker room. We'll be talking to head coach Jaron Dunbar, and we'll also be talking to a couple of his star players. He has a strong junior class, and a couple of the juniors that'll be some big scores for him will be Dakota Acey and Dylan Burton. So we'll be talking to both of them about the upcoming Somerset High School boys basketball season.
We're here with Somerset High School basketball coach Jaron Dunbar, going to third season. I know when you first started, we talked about you had this young group of kids, 8th graders, and then after that, freshmen, sophomore. Now they're the juniors, and I think they scored like maybe 80% of your points last year. Talk about this junior class.
Yeah, we're getting 83% of our scoring back from last year. We only lost one kid at graduation, Chase Walker. The junior class is a really good class. They can, every single one play. There's 8 in the group, and they can all play. Some of these, Cade, he's been contributing ever since he was an 8th grader. And then the rest of them, a lot of them, Dylan and Dakota and Kai, they all got a bunch of playing time last year. They started most of the year as sophomores, and then we brought Jackson off the bench quite a bit. Kenny Smith used him in some situations, so they've got some experience coming back.
Yeah, when I talk to them, it's sort of hard for me to remember that they're still sort of young special actors, sophomores, and they say, I just wasn't used to playing a lot, and so do you really think you'll see a big step up in some of those players from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think so. Just watching, we've been doing an open gym and lifting ever since after spring break, and this summer was really big for us. I think we developed some depth on our bench. We didn't have that last year. We could only go 6, 7 deep, but this year I think we can go 9, 10 deep. We got some younger guys like Gavin Stevens and Jack Harmon that are stepping up too that are sophomores this year. But we've got a bunch of experience coming back, and that's one thing. I think I told them last year, I said, I think you're going to look back on last season and it be the most important one, because you got all that experience, because we were sophomore led last year and swept the district and got beat in the district finals, and then went to the regional tournament. That's big for a sophomore led team.
Obviously, the group won the region baseball, which first been done a long time. Football team looks like they're going to do real good this year, might go to the state finals. How does that sort of, for small schools, this sort of a snowball effect where it sort of takes all sports and you start seeing success in all sports?
It's very important, especially at a small school like this. We've got to share our athletes, and we've got a good crop of athletes in the freshman through senior class this year. And, we've seen what they did. Won the region last year in football, came a game short of state championship. Hopefully this year they're going to get up there and they're going to win at Kroger Field. And then, the baseball team did the same thing, came out of nowhere really last year and won the region. And, it's our turn. We need to do that. We want everyone to be successful here. I've got guys that play multiple sports, so I'm always there cheering them on as well, and the other coaches, other teams are here to cheer us on. So it's pretty cool. It's a very tight-knit school.
That being said, and if you go all the way to the state finals, that's like December 7th, so it may be middle of December before you get to even see some of these guys. How does that affect a team as far as being able to transition that?
Well, it's good for our younger guys to be able to step up and get a lot of playing time. We scrimmage this weekend, the next 2 Saturdays, and we definitely won't have them for either one of those, we're thinking. So, it's good to see how they can handle varsity basketball and, if they're really going to be able to help us this year. But the guys that are coming in, I don't worry about them. It's going to take some time to get in basketball shape, because that's 2 completely different shapes. And brushing up on their offensive skill and their sets, our sets that we run. But, as far as toughness and overall just getting after somebody, I don't worry about them one bit. They'll be ready.
I look back at some of the games last year, and I don't sort of remember them all in my mind. I know you probably do, but it seemed like, y'all had that stretch where you won like 5 in a row. You beat Madison Central, beat both the district teams on the road, beat Pulaski County in overtime here in the Briar Patch, and I think you went to Anderson County and beat them.
Yeah.
But a lot of those games, it looked like y'all had 4 or 5 guys in double figures, but in some of your games where you got beat, it sort of got where maybe just Cade and Chase, and sort of got one to more dimensional.
Well, it goes back to consistency. Last year, we had some stretches where, we were winning games, and we had a couple stretches where we lost 2 or 3 in a row. And that's just being an inexperienced team. We were trying to find our way. We were trying to out-tough people, and we did that a lot. But I think all our losses except one was by 10 points or under, and that's just a couple possessions. And that's just us being young and not really understanding how to close out games. And I think we've really figured that out. I hope we figured that out, and it's going to show this year, I believe.
Now, having somebody like Cade Grundy, in a way, it's great because he was a player of the year and everything. But then do kids almost, he takes over games at times, but then sometimes if he's having an off night, the kid's not, it takes him a while to step in to take over where he,
We have kids that can step up. Dylan stepped up tremendously last year in the second part of the season, especially. He was kind of streaky, kind of up and down there for a while, but the second part of the season, he I don't know how many he was averaging at that point, but he ended up being our second leading scorer.
Right.
You know, and he played well, and you know, you got Kai and Jace Bruner can score the basketball. You know, we got people that can step up and help him out. I think it's going to take a lot more pressure off Cade this year. He's still our go-to guy, but it's going to take a lot of pressure off him, knowing he has other people around him, because he's going to see a ton of double teams this year. So other guys are definitely going to have to step up.
Now, we've talked, a lot about Cade, and everybody knows about Cade, how special he is. Talk about maybe some of the other players that maybe will be some big players, or some players that need to be big for you to be successful this year.
Well, most of them I've already talked about, but, I'll go back to Dylan. I think out of my 3 years here, I think he's the most improved overall. We've talked to him individually about being more consistent. Last year he was trying to drive in, he'd just throw it up expecting to foul. This year, he's going to be tougher in that situation. He's going to drive in, he's going to score the bucket and get fouled. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what type of year he brings. And then, Kaya, I think he's going to really step up this year from last year. He had 25 points, 16 rebounds in the first round of district tournament, so he was a dominant player that game. And I think he can do that on most nights. And Jace, we got to get him the ball more. Whenever he's got a guy on him, it's his size or he can score. Now he struggles, obviously, you get 6'5", 6'6" people on him, but he knows his limits, he knows his means. He's a very smart basketball player, and he's going to do what it takes to help us win. But, Dakota, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to go hard every single night. Jaden Gilmore is a kid we've got back this year, so we're excited about him. 6'5". Our front line is going to be really big. And then, like I said, Gavin Stevens shown a lot of improvement. Jack Harmon, Colton Krill shooting the basketball well right now. He plays good defense. Jackson Cooper, Canyon Smith. We got some people we can rely on.
As far as the physical standpoint, I don't think there'll be any team in the state that'll be as physical as you guys. Because you got height-wise, you're in pretty good shape, but just the physicality, just guys that don't mind to get in there. Chase Bruner, Dakota Acey, those guys. They just, nobody's timid.
Nobody's scared. That was the compliment we got after a lot of games this summer, and we didn't have everybody, was, Coach, your team is very physical. And that's what it takes. We got to be working hard. Now, with that's going to come some fouls, but I think with our depth and everything, that's going to help out a lot.
What would be the keys for you to be successful this season?
I think number one, we got to stay healthy. We've got to have everybody on the same page. Some of those younger guys, we've got to get them to get a little bit more mature. Those sophomores, and understand, what it takes, kind of like these guys were last year, what it takes to win. But I think we're going to execute our offense well, and I want to be able to press. I think defense is where it's going to be at. We want to be the best defensive team in the region. I think that's what it's going to take to win this region. So I think number one, being healthy, and then just execution.
Yeah, when you say the press, you've got physical guys, but you don't really have any slow guys.
No, they're all fast.
All down the court, so you're not going to have that hindrance of where you might have a big guy that's not going to get down the floor, but you got guys that they're used to getting up and down the football field, baseball field, whatever.
Yeah, we can play even faster this year than we have the last 2 years.
All right, Coach, good luck this season.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Dakota Acey, 11th grade.
Dylan Burton, 11th grade.
Y'all are part of a class that's been together for a long time, and that's sort of the bulk team last year, and it definitely is this year. Talk about that junior class y'all in, and the closeness and all the things y'all do together.
Yeah, with the junior class, I feel like we're close-knit through all sports, not only basketball, because of where we go to such a small school and everything. We all have to work together in everything we do, on and off the court.
Now, Dylan, you all were part of the baseball team last year. You all won the region. Obviously, the football team, you got a lot of guys who are not coming in because they're on the football team. How does that sort of carry over to other sports when you're winning at different sports?
It means a ton, man. When you're working together in a bunch of different sports, and you're usually like a family with each other,
Talk about last year. I know you all had some ups and downs. Talk about that just in general, just maybe the highs and lows is how last year played out.
I think we didn't have many lows because we were a very young team coming out, losing like the Olive Cross and Trey and all of them. But after last year, after getting a lot of varsity time with us younger guys, this year's gonna be a lot better because we have been out there on the varsity court.
And y'all lost one senior, Chase Walker. How would that, I mean, how will you feel this year compared to last year? Last year was probably, as being a sophomore, it's tough to compete, but now.
Well, we definitely have a lot more, experience out on the varsity floor and against the bigger and stronger guys that we're playing against. Last year we were a little young and inexperienced, but I think we got it figured out this year.
Okay. Obviously, you probably want to win the All-A region and go to state and go far there, but also, I think you guys are probably maybe the favorites in the district and could be one of the top teams in the region. Talk about that as far as what y'all goals are to do this year as a team.
Well, definitely to win district and win All-A and win region and make a run in state. I know we haven't won a district championship in the district we're in now, so that'd be great to be able to pull off. And I know it's really close with the region. All the teams have any shot at winning it, and it's up for grabs.
Dylan, I mean, for y'all to be successful this year, what do you think's got to happen? I mean, as far as a team or individual players or yourself, maybe.
Well, I feel like if we all just play our game, we can go. Sky's the limit for us. I feel like.
Okay. Talked to you earlier about your work ethic. You're just sort of the blue collar, go in there physical. Talk about your type of play, style of play, and how you develop that style of play.
I just feel like if you're going to be on the court, you might as well give it 110%. My biggest problem is I got to stay healthy. Getting hurt all the time ain't helping me, but I go 110% if you're going to be on the court. There ain't no reason to step back.
Okay. And like I talked to you about last year, the Wayne County game, you sort of took it over. That's probably something Coach Dunbar is hoping you can do more to be able to take control of more games.
He's talked to me quite a bit about that, and I mean, I was a little up and down last year, and hopefully I can come out this year and just have a consistent year like the Wayne County game last year when my teammates are able to find me.
Talk about that game. Were you just in a zone, or I know, was it a mismatch that you would be able to take advantage of? Or?
It was just, I guess, in my zone, I guess. I don't know. My teammates found me, and I was just able to make plays, score.
What's your best spot to score from? I mean, what do you like to do best? I mean, is it
mostly mid-range and in.
Okay. All right, guys. Anything else? Anything this season? What do you talk about the football team? Talk about that. What do you think the football team's gonna do this year?
Hopefully win state. I don't want them back until December 7th. Hopefully I can go to Kroger Field and get a big win up there.
What is that like? I mean, because you guys obviously play baseball, but I mean the football guys, which are a big part of the team, they're not going. Here the last couple of years they've come pretty late. How does that sort of develop the team? Because they're sort of, you've got other players probably starting now, and that sort of changes everything up.
We just love that all three sports, baseball, basketball, and football, are succeeding at high levels against everybody. So.
And plus, with the football players gone, it helps the younger players get up and get some more. We're deeper on the bench later in the season when they're needed, like foul trouble, stuff like that.
They're more experienced, able to go.
So there you go. We should see some big things for Somerset High School boys basketball. Once again, they have a strong junior class. Unfortunately for the basketball team, for great news for the football team, they may not get some of those juniors back until maybe December 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th, depending if they can make it all the way to state finals. Cade Grundy, Chase Bruner, Kaya Sharon, a bunch of these kids that are multi-sport athletes. So they'll be joining the team too. So as that season goes on, you'll see Somerset getting better and better as far as in the basketball season, as the football players get acclimated to the basketball game, and so they should be having another strong season this year. Now let's go back to the Briar Patch, and we're talking to the first-year coach, Casey Rexroth. This is his first year coaching here at Somerset High School, and he'll be here talking with his star junior athlete, Addie Bowling. Addie Bowling started at Somerset Lady Jumpers as a 7th grader, has been the starting point guard for 5 years now, so she's been around quite a while, and we'll be talking to her, both of them, and looking a little bit into the upcoming Lady Jumpers basketball season.
I'm Coach Casey Rexroth, first year head coach here with Somerset High School Lady Jumpers basketball.
I'm Addie Bowling. I'm a junior at Somerset High School.
Just talk about coaches starting out. I mean, this is sort of your first coaching gig, and sort of talk about how it's been going and everything.
Okay. It's been, so far this year, we've had a slow start with some, just getting girls in the gym. It's taken us it took us a little bit into the season to get the numbers wise, to even get 5-on-5, getting the middle schoolers in, to just get that depth and practice. And but as far as just getting acclimated to everything, Everything's been gone very smoothly so far. The girls have been very good to work with and just have really kind of taken to me and shown me just made me welcome here. So so far so good.
Addie, you've been here 5 years. Sort of you evaluate him as a coach. I know you've had a couple other coaches. But sort of talk about him as a coach.
Don't be too harsh.
What's different about him, and just a little bit about him and everything.
What's different is in the last year, Bobby, he was just more like an aggressive coach. Not bad saying bad about him, just yelling at us. And Rex Rowe, he takes it more simpler way, just tells us how to do it, slower way. Because I'm a slow learner. Like when we're learning plays, he has to tell me, like step through step, how to get it, which helps me a lot.
Okay. We talked about, you lost about 50% of your scoring and 55% of your rebounding. What would be some ways you're going to make that up, or who would be the players to make that gap up?
Biggest thing is I've just been trying to basically, I no one player or no two players can make that up. So as I talked to you about, basically we're going to crowdsource it. We want to get everybody involved in every aspect. Scoring wise, I think our best mode of attack is going to be spreading it around. As I told you, I think we can have up to 4 players in, getting up close to double figures scoring wise. And just any given night putting the players in the right position to get points and to score for us. And it may be a night-by-night basis. There'll be nights where we have matchup advantage and Addie's going to take them to the rim for 20 points in a game. And there may be times where we're shooting well and we have a couple girls that get close to, get up in the high teens or 20s in that. And so it's just going to be different as far as we're not going to be set in any one style of play. I have the way we want to play, but we're going to be flexible with what we do every given night.
Okay. You being a point guard, do you look to score that much, or you feel like you're going to need to look more score? Because obviously you're trying to bring the ball down, get the offense set up, but then sometimes you're going to be looked to be scoring too.
My main scoring is just attacking. So if I have someone guarding me who I know I can beat, I'm going to go after them. But if there's a mismatch on like Fouch or G, and they're in the corner, and I'm going in for a layup, and they're out in the corner, I'm going to kick it to them. And it just really depends who's guarding us that night with our mismatch.
Yeah, and we've tried to gear our offense toward everybody's advantages. Like I've told her numerous times, I want to get the ball with her in the middle of the floor so she can just go and make things happen. And that's going to be our best offense, is hopefully not having to set up an offense, but then when we do, putting everybody in the positions where they're going to have the advantage that night.
So that'll probably change on a game-by-game situation because everybody will have a different matchup every game. So
right.
Talk about some of your other players. I know you've talked about Addie.
Yeah.
She's been here. You're going to be your team leader. But talk about some of the other players that you're looking to step up and be some
Okay.
scorers for you.
Obviously, our returning leading scorer from last year would be Madison Garland, and she will. I will look to. On some of those nights, there'll be many nights where she would probably be leading us in scoring. As far as shooting the ball, being able to take it to the rim strong. As far as somebody that primarily can play on the wing, she's extremely strong. So she can take it up and score through anybody pretty much. And so that's going to be a big point of emphasis. Ashley Holt has a lot of very, very good moves as a guard, being able to, and for a guard, and she's shown a propensity so far this season to really, she's looking to attack, and that's if we're going to be able to attack, that's where we're going to get the shots to open up in the corners, as she was talking about. Lauren Fouch is going to be a very big threat from the three-point line this year as well as being able to mix up inside out with her skill set. And I expect her, but along with all of them, they're gonna. I don't see us having a 10 rebound per game player this year, because I want to see 5 or 6 or 7 rebounds in there. And if we can do that, I think that's where we're going to be able to to be able to make up some of that rebounding difference and things that we lose. Also coming back this year and playing is Shelby Harmon. We'll look for her to give us some different things inside scoring. I will look for her. Hopefully she'll become more aggressive scoring-wise because we're going to need that inside scoring. And then we've got the freshman class that is going to be that's basically our 5 upperclassmen. Then we have the freshman class that got Mackenzie Fisher, who will be a post player on the rise, and you will see probably progressively more of her throughout the year. Kate Bruner, who will look in to absorb some of the minutes that may have gone to her sister Grace. But she's an aggressive defender. She is just aggressive in everything, but that's one of the things with her is, that helps us offensively, but also we have to be able to keep her on the floor out of foul trouble because that same aggressiveness gets her in trouble in that. Let's see, who else am I? Taya Mills will look to be backup guard for us. That's one with hers. I wish we could get some of the aggressive-ness that we have in some of our other girls into her a little more because I think she would be very effective in that role as well. Who am I leaving out? Any of the freshmen?
Kaylee.
Oh, Kaylee Bartley is one that she will get spot minutes defensively, definitely, because she can come in and she can, even at her size, she can guard people twice her size because she's just going to work harder than them. So we'll look to have that coming off the bench as well. So that's pretty much what we got with varsity wise.
What are some things that you're going to try to work on that you want to improve in your game, going into your last 2 years?
These past years, I have not been offensively aggressive at all. I've just been worried about defense, really, which is my strong point. But this year, I'm trying to drive more, really look to make the team better by driving, shooting more when I'm open. In the past, I've just gave up multiple shots when I know I'm open, just worried that I'm missing it. But I'm going to have the confidence this year to know that I can make it.
Was it sort of hard to adjust that role? Because the 7th grader, obviously, they told you just to bring it up and pass it. They don't want you to shoot it.
Yeah.
You were probably told that for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
So is that sort of something you've had to overcome as you got
Yeah,
older?
it is, because I was just used to giving it to the older girls because they were the ones that needed to shine. I was just 7th and 8th grader. But this year, I'm a junior now.
Now you're the old grandma.
Step up. Yeah, I have to step up now.
You seem like you've got a team that can get up and down the floor, which you should be able to take advantage of, pressing and stuff like that. Is that going to be true?
That's many nights, yes. Like you said, there's going to be situations where we're going to look at it honestly every single night, and we look at our schedule right now and know that there's going to be some that we're going to press, but it's going to be different. Like we may one night instead of a full court press, we're going to drop into a softer 3/4 court or half court. But still get the same looks. It's still going to be the same thing, but we're going to make sure that we are taking advantage of every advantage that we can get that night. Yeah.
Let's just talk about this gymnasium. I know as opposing coach you had to come in. It was probably always tough.
Yeah.
So how does it feel now that you've got the role reversal where now that's going to be sort of your advantage to play when you got home games here?
I mean, it's going to be a big relief for one. We don't have to worry about I always remember worrying about our team warming up on the other end. You've got the student section there right to the right. Half the time you can't get them off the floor during the warm-ups. Then you have the cheerleaders taking up the other third of the court, standing over there on your side. So you have about maybe half or 2/3 of the court to even warm up on. So even that alone, just even before the tip-off, is going to be an advantage of having that. And then, once this place gets filled and people start to get behind us, which I think they will, once things gets rolling and the girls really get into it, and it's going to be a different level of just having that advantage and just not being on the wrong side of it anymore.
So has he talked to you about, obviously one of the top teams in the district will be his old team, Casey County. Has he talked to you about when you play them or how it would be maybe tough for him and everything?
Yeah, a little bit. We've mixed up words a little bit talking about Casey.
Yeah.
Not accidentally, but yeah, we know what to do. We know what to do.
What would that be like for you? Because obviously they're going to be probably the team to be in the district and region. So.
I'm going to do the best I can to use my knowledge of being around them so long to put us in the best situation. That's why I say, I can tell you right now, you're going to see a lot of our normal style of play when we're going against most teams, kind of mimicking them, because when Coach Sarah Weddle first started at Casey County, the team they have and the team that we have here, the way I see the personnel, I see it very similarly as far as personalities, the way that we can play, the flexibility that we can play with. Now that that won't ever be completely replicated what they have and have those 7 seniors all in one class, but that's what I wanted to do, because I thought that would, my best recipe for success was going to be able to kind of mimic that. But we're making it our own, and that might be one night that you see us play where I see our advantages will be, or it might look a little different than a normal night, because I know we have what it takes on every given night. I'm never going to go into it thinking that we're not going to win, and I'm going to be really upset every single loss, because I hate to lose. And I know Addie really does too. That's probably if we've bonded over anything, it's knowing that I know that she hates to lose. And I know I'm going to get the competitor out of her. And that's what and in all these, every single game, we're looking to compete. I don't like to lose, but if we competed, I can live with it. The losses I'm not going to be able to live with is the ones we just come out and lay down. So you won't see us. It don't matter who we're going to go against. The main thing, if I can get anything from the girls, is we're never going to lay down for anybody.
Talking maybe amongst your team or even in team meetings, what are some of y'all's goals this year, either in All-A and the district and region?
Of course, we want to win All-A. We want to go to All-A at least. We haven't went. I haven't ever went.
It's true, yeah.
So we want to beat Danville. I haven't beat Danville since, I think it was my 7th grade year, but we didn't do it in All-A. We did it at a senior night. So I want to beat Danville, go to All-A. I want to either win district, of course, and make it to region, because we've won district once since I was here. So, and I had a concussion there, so I didn't get to really.
Sunglasses on there.
Yeah, up there. I didn't get to enjoy it like I should have, and I want to make it to region this year.
Anything else you talk about goals or just expectations you have with this team this year? Or it's early on. But.
Yeah. And she hit on the ones that I've really communicated with them. We know that the All-A is going to go through Danville. We know that the district, as far as advancing through that first round, we got to work through those district games to get that seeding to where we want to get. Obviously, we would like to not have to. I would much rather, if I'm going to have to face Casey County, be that in that district championship game, because when you get to that point, all bets are off on things. In all district games, they're going to go back and forth. It doesn't matter if you've got a 20-win team versus a 10-win team. Those games are going to be close. But we want to just put ourselves in that situation. So we're really focusing on, so we'll have Washington County first in that All-A, Danville then if we get past them, and then just those district matchups. Those, as far as just our goals, as far as individual things, every other game, I want to be in to compete, and I expect to have a chance to win every night, or at some point during that game we have a chance to win. Now I know obviously there's going to be situations happen, and we're probably not going to go undefeated, but even in those we expect to compete. And so as far as that, that standpoint, that's kind of the generic answer, but that's honestly what I'm looking for. And then just those individual matchups that will set us up for reaching those goals of maybe either All-A or district and making to the region. That's where we want to look.
All right. Thank y'all and good luck this season.
All right.
So there you go. I hope that gets you all a bit excited about the basketball season. I know I am. And the upcoming weeks will be featuring some other teams, Southwestern boys and girls basketball team. Obviously the girls are the defending region champions and state runner-up. Pulaski County High School boys and girls basketball team. And we'll be talking to the Somerset Christian boys and girls basketball team. The Somerset Christian boys team are the defending Casey AA state championships team. They have already started their season off. They played in the Tip-Off Classic, the KCAA Tip-Off Classic, and won that for the second straight year. So they're looking to have another big season and hope they can repeat as state champions. But we still got football going on, and we've got 2 huge games this Friday. They're both regional championships, third round of the playoffs. We say regional championships, a little bit different when it had been. Used to 2 districts, the winners of each in sort of a tournament type where they could combine the 2 districts together was a region. But now it's sort of seeded, so, but it's a regional championship round. In Class 5A, Southwestern will be traveling to play Frederick Douglass. And then the Class 2A, Somerset will be hosting McLean County for the Class 2A regional championships. Been 2 fantastic seasons by both these teams, and they've cheated in different ways. Somerset, they're 11-1. They've had a great season. Their only loss was to Lexington Christian. They played Lexington Christian last Friday in the district championship at Lexington Christian and beat them by 2 points. Both games have been close games. I think the other one was 1 point. This one's 3 points. So, and Lexington Christian was a #1 seed in the state, which Somerset knocked them off. So, so Somerset will be in pretty good shape as far as the RPI ratings. If they win this game Friday, they would host again at William Clark Field, and their next stop would be at Kroger Field in Lexington if they could get past that game. So they've really set themselves up for a good chance to make it to the state finals. Coach Robbie Lucas has done a great job with this group. Coach Lucas, when he first came as a head coach of Somerset, had a similar season where they went undefeated all the way to the state finals. Unfortunately knocked off Paducah Tillman in the state championship game. So Robbie Lucas is, he's been in some deep runs. Last year they went all the way to semi-state, so they're hoping to keep the momentum going and getting all the way to state finals. And the last week's game was about as big a game as you're going to have for a district title, because those are 2 of the top teams in the state, and some feel that might have been sort of the state championship game, but there's still Mayfield and some Beechwood and some Breathitt County, other big teams in there, including McLean, which are facing this Friday. So at this level of the playoffs, every team is good, so you can't take any team for granted. So come out and support the Jumpers this Friday. Now also, Southwestern, they have been the surprise team of the season. Under first-year head coach Jason Foley, they started off the season 2-5. 2-5. And, had a lot of injuries, and a lot of people just sort of wrote them off. But since then, they've won 5 straight games, and they're still in the hunt for a state championship. They will have a tough matchup against Frederick Douglass, a big powerhouse 5A team. But, and it's on the road, but Southwestern has done as well on the road as they've done at home. They beat Pulaski in the first round at Pulaski, and they just last week beat Whitley County at Whitley County. They had lost Whitley County early in the season. Southwestern, they're now 7-5 after winning 5 straight games going into this regional championship final. And Southwestern has been in a lot of regional championship finals. I think this might be the 5th in a row. So they're looking to get over that hump and get another regional championship. So get out and support the Warriors too. That one is at Frederick Douglass. So they need all your support they can get, because big game coming up. So good luck to both the football teams, and still got plenty of football left. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for checking out the Commonwealth Journal Sports Show.